Your hair is growing every single month, but every time you seem to look in the mirror at your hair, you wonder, why does it seem to be staying at the same length every month? When this video, we're going to be exploring that a little bit more because it's not really about hair growth, it's about length retention. So stay tuned. So, as always, I always have my trusty notepad to hand with my notes. So, let's get started on point number one, which is that hair automatically grows. Your hair is always growing. Your hair is always growing. But the problem is that you are not retaining your length. Your hair is growing from your scalp, but the ends are breaking off just as fast as it's growing. So that's why you can't really see the length because it is breaking off as fast as it is growing. So that is really the difference that we are talking about when we talk about hair growth versus length retention. And in terms of point number two, why the ends are the most important part of the hair. Now, the ends are so important. I might have talked about this in another video of mine, is that these ends were once up here. So imagine your hair is growing from the scalp and it's growing to the point it gets to the end. So imagine how many months, I would say years, is taken for it to go to the length, well, depending on how long your hair is, that is. But imagine that. So all this wear and tear, maybe the hair color, heat, manipulation, so much has gone through your hair, especially your ends. So you really got to make sure that actually your ends, is well maintained and well looked after, because this is the oldest and most fragile part of your hair. Number three, I talk about, if we talk about, certain things that can really damage and hinder your length retention, is one being friction and manipulation. So things like your cotton pillowcases. Now, cotton pillowcases absorb all that moisture. I would say definitely go for a silk or satin pillowcase, so that the moisture is not absorbed as much as it would do on a cotton pillowcase. And that also goes for like your hair bonnets, your hair scarves, maybe your even hair scrunchies as well. So just be mindful of that. Clothing as well. So certain fabrics can rub against the ends of your hair, causing your hair to break. Your ends can snap off and break very easily, depending on the types of material you're wearing. So certain things like maybe wool, for example, can really cause a lot of friction and be rubbing when you're turning your head left and right, when you're moving, and all of a sudden the hair breaks off and maybe you haven't even realized it. So that's another thing to be mindful of. Restyling on a daily basis as well can also hinder your length retention. So the constant manipulation, constantly touching your hair throughout the day, and maybe you're not even aware of this as well, that can also cause breakage. So restyling your hair, maybe you're, having to brush it every day, add certain products, touch your hair, tug on your hair, pulling your hair back, all this manipulation can actually be causing your ends to break off as well, which is why you're probably not seeing the length retention that you want to see. In terms of also point number four, which is that maybe you're not properly sealing your ends. Now, I've talked about this on a number of occasions throughout a number of my different videos, but the importance of sealing in your ends, I would say it's not enough to just be moisturizing your ends. You really need something that's going to trap in that moisture, because I've actually found out as well that your ends can actually be quite high porosity, which means that you lose moisture as quickly as it enters your hair. So you definitely want to use something that can really help seal it in. Now, I'm not afraid of silicones myself, so I use Moroccan hair oil, and that's definitely silicone based, with some argan oil in it, and I find that it really helps me. There are some other oils that actually, and butters, that actually might work better for your ends, but you definitely want to use something that can really trap in that moisture in order to help preserve the length retention as well. Other things you could be doing is a simple retention check as well on a monthly basis, where you look around your hairline. Does your hairline look a bit different? Maybe you are losing more hair more pieces of hair than previous times. You might want to also look out for pieces of hair around the area that you're doing your hair. So where you're brushing your hair, styling your hair, are there smaller pieces on the table, on the floor? Is there smaller pieces coming out of your hair when you're washing your hair in your wash day routine? Is there smaller pieces on your clothing as well, on your shoulders? So for instance, for me, I could look at my shoulder and be like, okay, there's a little bit more, smaller pieces, or on my clothing, if I've got a light colored top on, I can probably see the pieces because obviously my hair is quite dark. So it's just about also being mindful of actually, has there been any changes that you've noticed as well in terms of the smaller pieces coming out of your hair, which could be a sign of breakage. I've definitely found that the more I've sealed in my ends, I've seen a massive difference to my length retention. I was kind of a person before that. I was like, oh no, I don't need to, seal in my ends. My ends are fine, as long as I've done my deep conditioning, some oils are in my styling products as well, I'm good to go. But actually, my hair does lose moisture at least after 3 days after doing my hair. So for me, I need to make sure that I'm retaining and keeping that moisture locked in for longer. Now, as I said, I do use a Moroccan hair oil on a daily basis, just a little bit to comb my ends, and I found that that has made a massive difference, a massive difference. So yeah, that's what I would say as well. And I guess a question I have for everybody today is, how long have you noticed that you've been stuck at the same length? And in terms of the 4 points I've previously talked about, which one do you think mostly relates to you? So yeah, comment below, let me know if there's any further content you want to see from me, and like and subscribe, as I always say. As I said, I will probably be doing a mixture of different content, but for now, keeping it short and sweet. So as always, have a very blessed day and a very blessed week ahead. Signing out, love for my curls. All the best. Take care. Bye bye.